All right. Well, welcome, welcome. This is Trish Ahjel Roberts, and today is Leap Day, so I thought it would be an exciting time to take advantage of this extra bonus day that we have in Black History Month and also in Valentine's Month. So I like to call February Black Self-Love Month, but it could be Self-Love Month for anybody. And I thought that this would be a wonderful time to kind of dive into self-love. So I think what I'd like to do to start, and we can use the chat for this, is just if we could start with one word for the city that you're in and one word for how you're feeling now, just starting off this session today. So can you drop a couple words in the chat for me? Show me some love.
Trish, I can't. I'm sorry. I'm driving right now, but
Oh, you want to give me one word? Don't
one
chat and
word.
drive.
Yeah. Um, one word for the city I'm in.
Just for how
Written
you're
down.
feeling.
Oh, okay. How I'm feeling.
I see Tara put hopeful in the chat. And Tara, you are in Atlanta, right?
Yes.
Okay. And Anjali, I know you're in New York. Did you have one word? All right, Anjali's driving, so we don't want to cause too much trouble over there. But
That's okay.
are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I think the service went out a little bit. So
Okay.
sorry.
Did you want to give one word for how you're feeling?
Yes. Oh, I'm feeling happy right now. Really happy.
Happy. All right, I love it. Okay, so I am in Florida, and I think my one word will be excited. So we can start from there. And let's go ahead and take 3 breaths together. So, assuming that you're not driving, if you can, come to a comfortable seat wherever you are that is not moving and rub your hands together. So, when we generate this warmth in our hands, we do it for a reason. This is Reiki energy, but you've probably heard, Jesus laid his hands on people, right? So we know that there's energy in our palms. Even when you think of things like reflexology, all of the important meridians in our body meet at the soles of our feet and the palms of our hand. So we're going to take this energy and then take your right hand to your heart, take your left hand to your belly. I can already feel my palms are tingling. And just take a moment to just love on yourself. You know, we don't often even touch ourselves. We're typically touching other people most of the time, and certainly not in a loving, aware way. So just take this moment, see if you can notice the beating of your heart. See if you can notice the rise and fall of your breath in your belly. And then let's take 3 breaths together. So inhale through your nose. And then exhale with a sigh. And I know Zoom blocks out background noises, so you won't be able to hear me sigh, but I'm sighing. So you can hear your own sigh. And we're going to do that 2 more times. Each time we're going to hold the breath just a little bit longer. So inhale through the nose. Let the belly fill. Hold it at the top. Hold it, hold it, and then release it with a big sigh. And the last time, we're going to go ahead and inhale through the nose. Let the belly fill, fill, fill. Hold it at the top. Hold it, and then release it. All right. right, so those three breaths are called three cleansing breaths. It's part of what they call pranayama in yoga, which is basically just breath work. And just by doing that, you're able to calm your nervous system. So that's something that you can access anytime. If you are, well, let me see. Yeah, you could do it when you're driving. Just keep your eyes open. But when you are stressed out, um, if you just need a moment to yourself, um, that's accessible to you at any time. So I'm going to go ahead and start our presentation. Let me share my screen. All right. Well, welcome, welcome. This is Trish Ahjel Roberts, and today is Leap Day, so I thought it would be and take advantage of this extra bonus day that we have in Black History Month and also in Valentine's. Okay, that was weird. My I guess I don't know if you heard that, but my YouTube stream started playing in the background and freaking me out. So let's go back in here again. All right, the fun of being live. You never know what's going to happen. All right, so we're going to get into this idea of leaping into self-love. What does it even mean to love yourself? You know, it's not something that we learn in school. It's for many of us, it's something we never learn. You can go through your whole life and not even know who you are, let alone love who you are. And I think that that's part of the struggle with this idea of self-love, that we think we can just say I love myself, you know, three times and voila, that happens. But there's a little bit more to it than that, because if you were to fall in love with another person, you would need to know them first. And the more that you know them, the deeper you can fall in love with them. But if you don't know them at all, well, then how would that happen? So we're going to get into it. This first quote here is from um, my very dear mentor. She actually did the foreword for my book, 12 Steps to Mind-Blowing Happiness. You see, I've got it all with the Post-it sticking out over here. But what she said here was, after years of searching, I have found my soulmate, and it is myself. And I love that. And Marcy is someone who is successfully married for many years. So it's not an either or, whether you're in a relationship or out of a relationship. But can you fall in love with yourself? You know, that's powerful, to feel that you are your own soulmate. And then maybe you also have a soulmate who is another person who is in your life as well. Okay, so this is our agenda. I always love this picture because I just love seeing Black women resting. Whenever I see this girl smiling in her bed with her pillow, I am like, yes, these are goals right here. Not that we don't work hard and do all the things, but I think one of the most difficult things for women, and particularly for Black women, is being okay with rest, not feeling like we must constantly be a machine producing for what most of us are in, which is capitalist societies. So our bodies are not machines. I'm going to get into my story a little bit. And then we're going to get into the 4 layers of self-love. So in my book, 12 Steps to Mind-Blowing Happiness, I talk about this as 4 pillars of self-love, but I'm going to show it to you as layers because I think they kind of build on each other. We're going to do some journaling. Again, not if you're driving. You can come back to this recording later. And then we're going to get into our guided meditation and tapping experience to really drive that message of self-love into our physical body. Because sometimes we talk about things, we talk about them and talk about them, and then we think about them and think about them, and then we talk about them more and we think about them more. But we have to actually do physical activities with our bodies. So like if you think of when you want to get fit, you want to get in shape, you can think about working out and think about working out. You can plan to work out, but at some point the rubber has to hit the road and you have to actually go to the gym, go to the yoga studio, go to the hiking trail, the running trail, whatever. You have to do the physical activity. So this is going to be the opportunity for us to do that physical activity to, really embed that self-love into our bodies. And then finally, I will have an offer for you to level up your self-love journey that we're going to be able to talk about this evening. And if you have any questions, I will be here to answer them. So first, me and my striped pants. I love those pants. Okay, so I am the founder of the Mind Blowing Happiness Coaching Company and also the Black Vegan Life event brand. In the past few years, I've written 3 books. The newest one is coming out. Oh my gosh, I could almost say next month because it's the last day of February, but it's coming out April 16th. And I have helped thousands of people achieve more self-love, more authenticity, more confidence, and find purpose in their lives. My work has been endorsed by Marcy Shimoff, who I spoke about before. She gave that beautiful quote at the beginning. She did the foreword for one of my books, but she is also one of the co-authors of Chicken Soup for the Women's Soul, and also she was one of the featured teachers in the film The Secret, which I think everybody knows and loves, on the law of attraction. And she is the narrator of one of my absolute favorite documentary films of all time. It's called Happy. It's a 2011 film. So Google it, look for it, make sure you check it out. It is a game changer as far as happiness is concerned. And then, of course, Jack Canfield is absolutely iconic. He is one of the original creators of the Chicken Soup for the Soul books and has had amazing success with his success principles. And he did the foreword for my current book, The Anger Myth. So they have both been amazing supporters of me. And then Iyanla Vanzant, we all know Iyanla. She used to be on the Oprah Winfrey Show, and then she had Iyanla Fix My Life on OWN. So she's just an iconic spiritual coach and TV personality. And they have all endorsed my work, which has just been, I'm so proud of. Now, my latest book, The Anger Myth, Understanding and Overcoming the Mental Habits That Steal Your Joy, addresses the biggest barrier to happiness. So when I did 12 steps, people would ask me, okay, you got 12 steps. That's a lot of steps. What's the most important step to kind of overcome in order to be happy and to really love yourself? And it really comes down to the way that we manage anger. So that's what that book is all about. And where you can find my work, that's the cover for the new book. I'm super excited. It is live now and available for pre-sale on Amazon. You can mark your calendar for April 21st. I am hosting a half-day wellness retreat in Atlanta at a Black woman-owned retreat center. So I'm super excited about that. I have not sent out any details or information about that yet. So, make sure that you're on my mailing list and you're receiving information from me, because that's going to be coming out soon. And of course, I also have my books, my newsletter, my blog, my podcast, media, social media, and then workshops and master classes like this. And I speak professionally. So I will have some speaking engagements coming up as well. All right, so let's get into it. Now you know who you're talking to. So let's get into it. So first, this idea of the 4 layers of self-love. And I like this new way of showing it versus the pillars which I had used in the past. So I want you to think with me that you are this person in the middle of this bullseye, right? So that's you in the middle. And your journey is typically going to begin again because you probably didn't take a self-love class in school, even if you went to college. I still don't know of any self-love classes. So your journey begins maybe with a book or maybe with a podcast or TV show or something, or it could just be some sort of quiet contemplation, but it starts with some level of self-awareness. It could be in relationship, maybe someone, I know one of the things that stood out for me when I was a teenager was somebody told me that I like talked a lot, which I always have. And I realized that sometimes I could talk over other people if I didn't have that awareness around it. So now I'm very conscious about if I speak over someone to kind of pause and apologize and ask them if it was okay, for me to continue, because otherwise I'll just be like just trampling over trampling over people with my wordiness. So self-awareness typically starts with a conversation with yourself, with noticing your own behavior. And then you may notice things that you like, you may notice things that you don't like, and you may decide to work on some things that you want to work on, or, maybe some things you're like, you know what, I like this about myself. I want to maybe develop this more and not back away from something. But the starting there is the awareness. And then it's also acceptance. So it could be awareness of, your habits, your feelings, the way that you look physically in the world, and then also acceptance around those things. So accepting the things that you want to keep, changing things, maybe if you want to change them or if you can change them, but all around this idea of awareness. And let me tell you, there are people who will go through their entire lives. They will be 80 years old and not have awareness of how the things that they say and the things that they do impact other people. They may not know what they like and what they don't like. They may have attached their identity to someone else's identity. So self-awareness is not something to be taken lightly. Again, the only way to get to it is to have some awakening and to work on that. So that's the first step. And then from there, this word authenticity to me is kind of knocking around a lot. And I think the reason that it's knocking around a lot is because a lot of people feel like they can't be authentic, whether it's because if they show up in a particular space, maybe a work environment or a professional environment, they may feel like they can't be who they really are, or they have to hide certain parts of themselves. I know I experienced that for many, many years that I worked in corporate. So it could be because you are specifically wearing a mask strategically at certain points, and that's fine, right? We can't all, we have to be appropriate. We can't show up at the cocktail party in a bikini because we just want to be authentic, right? So it has that level of appropriateness in it. But can you show up as yourself with your friend group? Can you show up as yourself with your romantic partner? Those are spaces where you should feel like you can be exactly who you are. So, first, you got to know who you are. Then you have to have that ability to show up as yourself. And that leads us directly into confidence. Because now, okay, you know who you are, you feel like you can show up as yourself, but will you do it? Do you have the courage to do it? You may know what your goals or what your desires are, and that's great. You know authentically what it is that you really like, what you really want to do, but do you have the courage and the confidence to actually show up and be seen and do those things? And once you have like those first three layers, right? So you got the self-awareness, you have that authenticity, you found the courage and the confidence to actually show up and be seen. How do you protect this beautiful creature that you've created? You can't just throw it out to the wolves and let everybody, do what they do what they want. So that's where healthy boundaries come in. What will you allow? What will you not allow? What will you accept? What will you not accept? How are people allowed to speak to you? How are people allowed to show up in your life? So that's where our boundaries come in. And it's important to say healthy boundaries because you don't want to have boundaries that are so serious that you just have a fence around you and nobody can access you. But are your boundaries healthy? All right, so we got 4 layers of self-love. Okay, so we're going to do some journaling. If you are driving, you can come back to this. You can just kind of meditate on these questions a little bit. And if you are in one place and you are not moving, you can go ahead and grab a pen and a piece of paper. And let's see what we can delve into with ourselves. So, journaling is such a good way just to grow. And it can be great by itself, just journaling, maybe what went on in your day, things that are going on in your head as a sounding board for you and your higher self to work through any problems or issues that you might be dealing with, or even to express celebrations. But when you have a journaling prompt, when a very pointed question is asked of you, then that creates a different kind of response. So, Tony Robbins has a great quote. Let me see if I get it right. The quality of your life is a direct result of the quality of the questions you ask yourself. And many times when you get a journaling prompt, it might be a question where you're like, well, I've never thought about that before. Nobody ever asked me that before. I've never asked myself that before. And usually that's how that works. So let's see. So the first question, and I'm going to give you 2 minutes to answer this. 20 things you love about yourself. Can you do it? Can you give me 20 things you love about yourself? If you struggle, think small. So if you think, oh my God, 20, that's a lot. I don't know 20 things I love about myself. Bring it down a notch, make it small. It could be, I like the way that I smile at my coworkers in the morning, or I like the way, um, my hair looks when I get out of the shower. Whatever it is, make it small. I like my toes. But give me 20 things you love about yourself. I'm going to start the timer, give you 2 minutes. You're halfway through. Don't give up. Think small. Okay, so that was 2 minutes. And hopefully you got a list of 20 things. If you didn't, you could come back to it. If I were to do this list, some things that I would say, you know, I love my sense of humor. I'm courageous. I'm resilient. I, when I fall down, I get back up, right? I guess maybe that's resilience. I think I'm a big goofball, so I know that I have a lot of love in my heart and I do my best to share it. So it could be a lot of emotional things, things about your personality, and it could be physical things too. I love my hair. So 20 things you love about yourself. If you didn't finish your list now, go back and work on it later. And this is a great exercise for self-love. It's a great exercise for confidence. It's a great exercise for those days when you're not feeling that great and you're on that doorstep of depression or anxiety. Knowing things about yourself that you like is going to help you in all of your emotional situations and interactions. Okay, so the next prompt we're going to do here is 10 things you love to do. And these are not things that your mom loves to do. These are not things that your husband loves to do. I mean, they might be, but things that you love to do. And if you can't come up with 10 things that you love to do, you can add things that you want to try. So maybe if you haven't been a big artist, but you want to learn to paint. Or if you haven't ever tried a yoga class, but you want to try a yoga class. Or maybe you haven't been on your bike in a long time, but you want to get back into riding your bike. Think about 10 things you love to do. Another way to get unstuck if you get stuck here is to think about the things that you love to do when you were a child. So, what did you love to do as a child? Sometimes we lose that as we get all focused in being a grown up. So, you have 2 minutes for 10 things you love to do. You were halfway through. All right, that was 2 minutes. And we have three more of these. So the next one is 5 things you would love to get better at. So, 5 things you'd love to get better at. You have 2 minutes. You're halfway through. And these things can be, they can be emotional, they can be physical. So maybe you want to get better at speaking up for yourself. Maybe you want to have more courage. Or maybe you want to learn how to roller skate or hike a mountain or something. So you have another minute left for 5 things you'd love to get better at. All right, that was 2 minutes. I hope that you can feel the self love and the self awareness growing as you go through these journaling prompts. We have two more to go. And the next one is an important question. List 3 things you forgive yourself for. So, part of loving ourselves is learning to forgive ourselves because we all make mistakes. We've all had moments where we did not meet our own expectations for ourselves. And we all have, times when we wish we had done better. So, I want you to take 2 minutes and think about 3 things that you would like to forgive yourself for. You're just about halfway through. All right, so that was 2 minutes. And finally, our last journaling prompt. This gets us into those boundaries. 2 things you won't tolerate. And you got 2 minutes for 2 things you will not tolerate. If your list is longer, you can write more than two, but at least 2 things that you will not put up with. You are halfway through. All right, that was just about 2 minutes. So let's keep going into my favorite part. So we are going to take some time for guided meditation and also for some tapping. So, meditation is very popular nowadays. It's a way to calm your nervous system, but it's also a way to reprogram your mind to get into touch with a higher level of your spiritual self as well. And I love it because it also makes me feel good. And actually, feeling good is important. Um, but then in the past, probably maybe about the past 2 years, I have been doing tapping. So tapping is um, really a way to access some of those acupressure points on the body, but it just makes you feel fabulous. It's great for anxiety. So lately, I've been putting the two of them together, and I'm going to demo that with you this evening as we do our self-love guided meditation and tapping. So let's go ahead and get started. So you can come to a comfortable seat however you are. If you are in a chair, you do want to have a straight back because that does impact the energy in your body. And you want your feet flat on the floor. So, no legs crossed or anything like that. If you are seated on the floor in, cross-legged posture, like a yoga posture, that's great as well. But most of us are going to be seated in our chairs like I am now. So go ahead and sit up straight. And you can do either palms down or palms up. Palms down are considered more of a grounding posture, like if you're dealing with a lot of anxiety or uncertainty and you want to have that feeling of safety, I would recommend palms down. If you are looking for openness, for inspiration, then I would recommend palms up. And some people like to do one palm down, one palm up, so you could kind of be halfway as well, and that's also fine. So, as we lean more into self love and self awareness, it's all fine. It's okay. One of the things I love about myself is that I show up. So, if you show up and you try and you do things, you just go with the flow. If you do your meditation today and it's not perfect, you can come back to this video and look at it again tomorrow. If you do two hands down today and you're like, you know what, I should have done two hands up. Tomorrow you can come back and do two hands up. So whatever feels good to you in this moment right now, you can go ahead and go for it. And first, we're just going to relax the body. So close your eyes if that feels good to you. If you do not feel comfortable with eyes closed, you don't have to close them completely. You can keep a gentle, unfocused gaze about 2 feet ahead of you. And then bring your awareness to the crown of your head. Imagine that that area is warm and relaxed. So right at the crown of your head, as if there were a thread that went from the base of your spine all the way up to the crown of your head and attached you right to a star in the universe above you. Just imagine that kind of alignment. And then imagine that the crown there is relaxed. And then bring your awareness to your temples and your forehead and the back of your head. So as if there were a cap that went around the forehead, the temple, the back of your head like a band there. And then imagine that that whole band, that whole area is just warm and relaxed. So now we're warm and relaxed at the crown of the head. We're warm and relaxed at this band. Relax your forehead. See if you can relax your eyes. We hold a lot of tension in our face and our jaw and our mouth. See if you can let all of that go. Relax your face, relax your mouth. Relax your neck and your shoulders, your upper arms, your chest, your forearms. Relax your belly, your hips, your thighs, your calves, and your feet. And then just scan your body from head to toe and see if there's any place where you're holding tension. And if so, see if you can release that. And then I want you to bring awareness to your breath. So don't change the way you're breathing, just notice. See if you can notice the sensation of air as it exits and leaves the body right at the tip of the nostrils. You might notice that it's cooler on the inhalation, warmer on the exhalation. Just notice. Our bodies are so amazing and so complex, and most of the time we're not paying attention. So see if you can notice the path of your breath. It's going to pass your throat and then come into the lungs, and then it reverses that journey from the lungs to the throat to outside of the body. And then on your next exhalation, I want you to imagine that you're exhaling thick, dark smoke, and with it, any feelings of self-doubt, self-loathing, self-hatred, any worries, fears, concerns, any feelings of inferiority, of not being enough. I want you to release all of that in the aspect of thick, dark smoke. So just watch it leave your body. Those feelings of not being worthy, not being enough. Exhale that. Watch it leave. Those feelings of comparison, of jealousy, of self-hatred or self-loathing, or just plain old self-doubt. Release it. So on every breath, and just breathe normally, noticing your breath. But this time, every exhalation, you're releasing your worries, fears, concerns, self-doubt, feeling not enough, feeling not worthy, any of those negative emotions, jealousy, lack of focus. Just release that with your breath. Just watch that leave your body. And then on your next inhalation, I want you to imagine inhaling golden radiant light through the crown of your head into your heart. And with that light comes confidence, self-love, inspiration, self-acceptance, self-compassion, and big dreams. Inhale all of that in through the crown of the head and bring it right to your heart center, right in the middle of your chest. So on every inhalation, I want you to inhale that self-love, that self-confidence, and on every exhalation, exhale that self-doubt, that worry, fear, or concern, and cycle through those breaths on your own for a few moments. So every exhalation, you're exhaling that thick, dark smoke, and with it, any worries, fears, concerns, self-doubt. And every inhalation, you're inhaling that inspiration, that self-love, that confidence through the crown of the head into the heart center in the aspect of a golden radiant light. Take a few more breaths here. Enjoy that feeling of peacefulness, that feeling of light. And then when you're ready, I want you to gently come back into your normal state of awareness and rise from your meditation. And then we're going to go into our tapping sequence. So just give yourself a few breaths here to close out the feelings that have arisen during your meditation. And we're going to go into our tapping sequence. So for tapping, we're going to start with the right hand. And we're going to take these right fingers and tap the fatty part of our left hand. So underneath the pinky on the left hand. And we're just going to tap here. You don't have to hold it up the way I am. I'm just holding it up so you can see it. And I'm actually going to go ahead and drop it down now. So I'm tapping my left hand with my right fingertips. And I'm just going to tap here, tap, tap, tap. And then I'm going to take my index finger and my middle finger on each hand. I'm going to take it to the inside of my eyebrow. So there's a bone right here at the inside, and we're going to just tap there. So tap. And then the same two fingers, there's a bony spot on the outside of the eyes. So we're going to just tap that bone right here. And now that we're on this bone, I want you to think about feeling unworthy, or whatever the opposite of self-love is for you. It might be the feeling of jealousy. It might be a feeling of self-loathing. It might be, I think for most of us, it's a feeling of either unworthiness or feeling like somehow we're not enough. So whatever that is for you, I want you to think about that feeling as you tap the outside of the eyes. And then we're going to go under the eyes. And I want you to still think about that feeling. And then I want you to shift it here. So now I want you to think, you know what? I am worthy. I am enough. I am worthy. I am enough. I do love myself. Now, right hand, same two fingers under the nose. There's a bony spot here. And I want you to tap that spot under your nose. I am worthy. I am enough. I can love myself. I can love myself completely. And then under here, under the lip, there's a bony spot here. So tap it. Same thing. I am worthy. I am enough. All 10 fingers now to the clavicle. So you're going to tap here with all 10 fingers. I am worthy. I am enough. I love myself. I deserve self-love. I deserve complete self-love. Now we're going to take the 4 left fingers under the right armpit. So about maybe 2-3 inches under the armpit. And we're going to tap under that armpit. Same thing. I am worthy. I am enough. All 10 fingers, crown of the head. Tap, tap, tap. That same spot that we started with when we imagined the thread coming from the base of the spine to the crown of the head. Now we are tapping that spot. I am worthy. I am enough. We're going to do the same thing, second side a little faster. So left fingertips this time, fatty part of the right hand, tap. I am worthy. I am enough. 2 fingers inside the eyebrows, the bony spot here, I am worthy. I am enough. Outside of the eyebrows, bony spot, I am worthy. I am enough. I deserve to love myself. Underneath the eyes, I'm worthy. I deserve to love myself. This time, left hand only, 2 fingers under the nose. I am worthy. I deserve to love myself. Under the lip, I am worthy. I am enough. All 10 fingers to the chest. I am worthy. I am enough. Tap, tap, tap. Then up to the crown of the head, all 10 fingers. I am worthy. I am enough. All done. Take a moment, see how you feel. I don't know about you, but tapping makes me feel fabulous. I hope you feel that. My dogs are over here barking in the background. I don't know if you can hear them, but hopefully it wasn't too bad. And let's see what we got. All right, so I wanted to let you know not just about the new book that is coming out April 16th. So stay connected. There's more details that are going to be coming up. Not just the April 21st event in Atlanta, but other events are going to be coming up as well to celebrate and let you guys know about this new book. However, I had for a while been trying to figure out a way to offer coaching so that you could kind of sample it and get a sense of what you could do in a short period of time. So I came up with the 14-day self-love starter kit, which is a one-on-one coaching program. And what I want to offer to you today is a free 15-minute self-love clarity call. So we can talk about your personal journey with self-love, and I can share the details of the program with you. So I'm going to put the link for that in the YouTube show notes. If you want to check that out, put yourself on my calendar for 15 minutes. We could talk. I'll get to meet you. Or if I've already met you, we can spend a few minutes together and talk about your self-love journey. And if there's any way that I can help you launch forward and really take off with with just loving yourself better. All right, and I think that's all I have. So let's stop sharing. I am going to say good evening because I don't like to be on recordings for more than an hour. So thank you so much for being on this call with me. I'm going to stop